Hey guys, this is kind of a follow-up video to my last video I posted. But I was going to do a little comparison between this Iver Johnson and then the Smith & Wesson lemon squeezer. I believe the Iver Johnson was called their safety automatic revolver. It's very similar to the Smith & Wesson lemon squeezer or safety hammerless. As you can see, the size is nearly identical. Both of them are in 32 Smith & Wesson short, and both of them are a little 5-round pocket pistol from yesteryear. This Smith & Wesson is a little bit younger than this Iver Johnson. This is the first model. I believe the Smith & Wesson's their second iteration or their transitional iteration. This one should be safe to shoot with smokeless powder, but the Iver Johnson is not. You can see, even just looking at it, this latch looks much weaker, much less substantial than the Smith. But these were still quality revolvers and gave people good service for many, many years. I would say it's not nearly as nice as the Smith. The trigger is much heavier. This one's nickel finished. The Smith is blued, but the Smith also came in nickel. The Iver Johnson does not lock up. The cylinder will not lock up until right before it fires. So you can roll it, which scares some people. Some folks think it's broken, but no, it's designed that way. The Smith & Wesson does in fact lock up between shots. Now, the Smith & Wesson does have this little grip safety, but the Iver Johnson has several safeties as well. The first one that you can see, this little trigger safety. A lot of people think of those as being something modern, perhaps invented by Mr. Gaston Glock on his famous pistol in the 80s. But nope, it was actually invented in the 1800s. I don't know if Iver Johnson's the company that actually invented it, but I know they definitely popularized it. They put it in all their advertisements. This gun also has an extremely heavy trigger, but it is shootable. You can do it, but it's not as nice as the Smith. It's much heavier. It doesn't stage as well. But unlike the Smith, if you look right here, you can see the firing pin protruding into the cylinder. That tells me that this is probably not the safest gun to carry with 5, because your firing pin is going to be right against a primer. However, the Iver Johnson's firing pin is retractable. And believe it or not, this also has another famous safety that most people think came about in the 20th century. And that would be the hammer block safety, which is the same style that Ruger has with the transfer bar system. Iver Johnson actually invented that, once again, back in the 1900s, as far as I believe, or excuse me, late 1800s, as far as I believe. So there is a transfer bar safety system inside of this housing. Even though this is hammerless, it's still there, so that the firing pin cannot be contacted by the hammer, cannot go forward until that transfer bar safety system is in proper position. Now, this does lock up. It just only locks up right before the moment of fire, and it's a lot sloppier than the Smith. But it does function. It functions as it should. The ejection still works as it should. And you know, it's not a bad revolver. Iver Johnson used to run commercials, or I should say ads, not commercials, in books and magazines and papers and whatnot, saying that this was so safe you could leave it with your child and the child could play with it. Because of the heavy trigger pull, that transfer bar safety system, and this trigger safety, they said children were not able to actually hurt themselves. And I think there were ads of a father letting their kids play with it laying in bed and that type of thing. I would not go that far, but I will say it is a very safe, well thought out revolver. Also, just absolutely adore Iver Johnson's little owl logo. I think it looks fantastic. Oh, I wish I could have merch with the owl logo on it today. I would definitely buy it. I'd be a sucker. But in terms of quality, it really doesn't hold a candle to the Smith. But that does not mean it's not well made. The Smith it's a lighter trigger, stages better. I'm not the biggest fan of the grip safety, but it does work well. The Iver Johnson is much heavier trigger, but I do like the trigger safety, even on the little revolver. I like how I could carry this with 5 shots instead of just 4, due to that hammer, the transfer bore safety. I don't like the free spinning cylinder when it's not fired, but you know, I mean, people back in the day just really didn't mind it. They didn't really have as much of a problem with it. I'm not going to say this would be my definitive EDC of, you know, 1898 or whatnot, but I mean, you could do worse. I'm sure thousands and thousands of these were made, and many, many people did trust these. You know, let's not forget that was a time where carrying a gun was even more frowned upon than it is today. But, you know, open carry was likely illegal, so something this size was really all you could get away with in most metropolitan areas. But yeah, it's just a quick follow-up. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think. Let me know which one's your favorite between the Iver Johnson and the Smith & Wesson. Thanks, guys.